What's up, Storybreakers, and welcome back to the Alternate Chronicles.
The show where we put your favorite movies under a 2025 microscope.
Today, we're going back to the very beginning, to the film that bet $1 billion on a guy in a metal suit and accidentally launched a cinematic universe. We're talking Iron Man 2008.
Look, we know you've seen it. You've seen the reviews, the memes, the 42 different Disney Plus documentaries, but you haven't seen it with us. We're here to ask the real questions, like, was Jarvis the most patient AI in history? And is building a supersuit in a cave with a bugs of scraps really plausible?
So, grab your popcorn and your plot hole detectors.
Let's get into it.
Tony Stark.
Our story begins properly at an award ceremony in Las Vegas. Tony Stark is being honored for his contributions to the arms industry. But in true Tony fashion, he's a no-show. He's across the street at a casino, gambling.
Oh, of course. Why accept a Lifetime Achievement Award when you can be winning a stranger's money and causing your business partner to sweat through his suit on stage? This man's priorities are a whole mood.
His best friend, Colonel James Rhodes, eventually tracks him down to hand him the award. The next day, after ditching a journalist, Tony boards a private jet to Afghanistan for his next big presentation.
And by presentation, he means blowing up a mountain range to sell more weapons. The military calls it a demonstration. I call it the world's most expensive fireworks show.
In the middle of the desert, Tony showcases his masterpiece, the Jericho missile.
The Jericho.
He describes it with the casual energy of someone selling a new smartphone. One missile, he boasts, can level a mountain range.
This is the classic hubris chapter in every superhero's origin story. You know, the part where the hero is at the peak of their arrogance right before the universe decides to teach them a very, very violent lesson.
And on his way back, that lesson arrives. The military convoy is ambushed by a terrorist group. A group armed with Stark Industries' own weapons.
Oh, see? Irony. The universe's favorite teaching tool.
Tony awakens, disoriented, in a dark cave. He sees a crude car battery wired to his chest, powering an electromagnet that's keeping shrapnel from grinding into his heart. His captors, the 10 Rings, have one demand: build them a Jericho missile.
And his only companion is a fellow captive, a doctor named Yinsen. This guy is the unsung hero of the entire MCU. He's basically performing open-heart surgery with spare parts while also acting as a therapist for the world's most difficult billionaire. Give this man a Nobel Prize.
Realizing they'll be killed either way, Tony agrees, but with his own plan. He tells Yinsen they're not building a weapon for the terrorists. They're building a way out.
And this is the moment, the legendary built in a cave with a box of scraps scene. Instead of a missile, Tony forges a miniature arc reactor, a clean energy source to power his heart indefinitely. Step 1, solve your life-threatening medical condition.
With his heart secured, they begin step 2, building the escape plan. Using the very missile parts their captors provided, they start constructing a massive suit of powered armor.
Let's be honest, the Mark I suit is a masterpiece of terrifying, low-tech engineering. It looks like a walking water heater. It's probably heavier than a truck, but it has flamethrowers. Rule number 1 of escaping a terrorist cave, always build in flamethrowers.
But the 10 Rings get suspicious. As they're about to activate the suit, the terrorists storm the workshop. To buy Tony the final few minutes he needs, Yinsen creates a diversion, sacrificing himself.
Don't waste it. Don't waste your life.
Yinsen's last words to Tony are, "Don't waste your life." That's not just a line. That's the code, the central theme for the next decade of Marvel movies, delivered right there. No pressure, Tony.
The suit powers up. With brute force, the Mark I plows through the terrorists, shrugs off machine gun fire, and uses its flamethrowers to destroy the camp's weapon caches.
It's absolute chaos. It's slow, it's clumsy, but it is beautifully violent. He's a walking tank.
With the camp in ruins, Tony uses the suit's last bit of power to launch himself into the sky with built-in rockets, before crashing miles away in the desert sand. Alone, but free. After wandering the desert, a rescue helicopter finally spots him. His best friend, Rhodey, is there, and the relief is immense. Tony Stark, presumed dead for 3 months, is finally going home.
And what's the very first thing a traumatized, recently escaped billionaire wants upon returning to American soil? Medical attention? A therapist? Nope. An American cheeseburger. You can't make this stuff up.
He bypasses the hospital entirely and instead calls for an immediate press conference at Stark Industries, much to the confusion of his business partner, Obadiah Stane, and his assistant, Pepper Potts.
I love the corporate priorities here. Pepper's like, "You're alive! Thank God!" And Obadiah is basically like, "Great, you're not dead. Now, what's this gonna do to our stock price?"
At the conference, Tony ignores the podium and sits on the floor, looking disheveled. He recounts his experience seeing his own weapons used by terrorists to kill American soldiers.
And you can see it in his eyes. This isn't the same guy who was gambling in Vegas. This is the first time Tony Stark has ever truly faced the consequences of his creations.
Then he drops the bombshell. He announces to a room full of stunned reporters that he is shutting down the weapons manufacturing division of Stark Industries, effective immediately.
Boom! That's the sound of the entire military-industrial complex having a collective panic attack. The reporters are screaming, Obadiah looks like he's seen a ghost, and the company stock probably just free fell through the floor. It is glorious chaos.
Obadiah quickly tries to end the press conference, calling it post-traumatic stress, but the damage is done. Tony Stark has declared a new mission for himself, without knowing exactly what it is yet. Publicly, Tony announces he's focusing on his large-scale arc reactor project to power the city. Privately, in his high-tech garage, he started a new project, codename Mark II.
Yes, the montage sequence, my favorite part. This is where Tony, with the help of his ever-patient AI butler, Jarvis, basically locks himself in his billionaire man cave to build the coolest toy ever.
He begins by perfecting the repulsor technology from the cave, creating powerful thrusters for his boots. The initial tests are, less than graceful.
Less than graceful is an understatement. He turns the power up to 10% and immediately launches himself into the ceiling, and his little robot assistant dummy just sprays him with a fire extinguisher. It's peak slapstick comedy.
After numerous crashes, he finally masters stabilized flight inside the garage. With the flight system down, Jarvis begins to digitally assemble the full, sleek, silver Mark II armor around him.
The suit-up sequence is just pure sci-fi gold. All the little robotic arms and whirring sounds, it's every kid's dream. And of course, the first thing he does is take it for a real test flight.
For the first time, Tony soars through the sky in a fully functional suit of armor. He pushes the limits, flying higher and higher, aiming to break the altitude record.
And here it is, the classic Icarus flying too close to the sun moment. Because of course he forgot one tiny little detail. Science. The freezing temperatures of the upper atmosphere caused the suit to ice over completely.
The power cuts out. Jarvis goes offline. The suit becomes a metal coffin plummeting back to Earth. In a last-ditch effort, Tony deploys the suit's physical wing flaps to break the ice, restarting the system just moments before impact.
And that's how you learn from your mistakes. So what does he do? He builds the Mark III using a gold titanium alloy that resists icing. And just for fun, he tells Jarvis, throw a little hot rod red in there, and bam, the iconic red and gold armor is born. Chef's kiss.
One night, Tony attends a charity gala. While there, a journalist shows him recent photos from a village called Gulmira, the same village as Jensen, his former cellmate. The photos show the 10 Rings terrorizing civilians with a fresh shipment of Stark Industries weapons.
And that's the final piece of the puzzle. Tony realizes his business partner, Obadiah, never stopped the weapon shipments. He's been selling to terrorists behind his back the whole time. The fun and games part of the movie is officially over.
Filled with a sense of responsibility and rage, Tony leaves the party. He suits up in the Mark III, and for the first time, he flies off with a clear mission, not to test, but to intervene.
And here we go, Iron Man in the classic red and gold streaking across the sky to the Middle East. This is his official debut as a world-saving badass.
He arrives in Gulmira just as the terrorists are about to execute a group of villagers. He lands and is immediately fired upon. The bullets just bounce off his armor.
Yes, I love this part. The terrorists are just wasting ammo while Tony stands there completely unfazed. Jarvis's multi-target system locks onto all of them instantly. It's like a video game cheat code. He takes them all out without harming a single hostage.
After dealing with the foot soldiers, he confronts their tank. The tank fires a shell directly at him. Tony simply stands his ground, bats the shell away, and destroys the tank with a single tiny missile from his wrist.
The tank missile scene. So effortlessly cool. He doesn't even break a sweat. He then blows up their entire weapon stockpile and flies off, leaving a group of very confused but very grateful villagers behind. Mission accomplished.
But on his way home, he's intercepted by 2 U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptors, who have detected an unidentified flying object in their airspace and are ordered to shoot it down.
Great. He just saved a village from his own weapons, and now he's about to be blown out of the sky by his own country. And the best part? His buddy Rhodey is the one on the phone authorizing the attack, having no idea he's trying to shoot down Tony. The irony is just delicious.
While Tony is dealing with the Air Force, Obadiah Stane makes his move. He travels to the desert and meets with Raza, the leader of the 10 Rings. It's revealed that Obadiah hired them to kill Tony all along, but they got greedy and held him for ransom instead.
Oh, shocker! The bald, scheming business partner was the secret villain the whole time. Who could have possibly seen that coming? It's the oldest trick in the corporate movie villain handbook.
Obadiah paralyzes Raza with a sonic device, takes the remains of the Mark I armor, and has his men eliminate the rest of the 10 Rings. His plan? Reverse engineer the suit to create his own army of Iron Men.
So his plan is to steal his rival's homework and just write his own name on it. Classic villain move. There's just one problem. His scientists are a bunch of nerds, but they're not Tony Stark. They can build the giant suit, but they can't figure out how to build the miniature arc reactor to power it.
Meanwhile, Tony asks Pepper Potts to hack into the company's mainframe. She discovers the secret files, including a video proving Obadiah was behind the kidnapping. Just as she's escaping with Agent Coulson, Obadiah confronts Tony at his home.
And this scene is genuinely terrifying. There's no big fight. Obadiah just uses that sonic device on Tony, paralyzes him, and then reaches into his chest
and rips the arc reactor right out of his chest, leaving him to die. He looks down at Tony and says, "Tony, you were a treasure, but you were wasting your talent."
The audacity. That's like the coldest villain line ever. He leaves him there gasping for air. This just got personal.
Tony, barely alive, crawls to his lab and manages to retrieve the original, weaker arc reactor, the one Pepper had saved for him in a glass case. Just then, Rhodey arrives to find his friend near death.
Thank goodness for sentimental gifts. That little glass box literally saved his life. And I love how Rhodey walks in, sees the chaos, then looks over at another prototype suit, and just says, "Next time, baby." He is so ready to get his own suit.
With the old reactor in place, Tony tells Rhodey to keep the military away. He suits up, knowing his power is limited, and flies off to save Pepper and stop Obadiah. Back at the factory, Obadiah powers up his massive suit, the Ironmonger. He confronts Pepper and Agent Coulson's team, tossing cars around like toys. Just as he's about to finish them, Iron Man arrives, crashing through the ceiling.
Yes, the final boss battle. It's the classic David versus Goliath fight. Tony is in the sleek, agile sports car, and Obadiah is in a clunky, heavily armed battle tank. This is going to be good.
They crash onto the highway, fighting amongst civilian traffic. Tony, with his low power, realizes he can't win a direct slugfest. He formulates a new plan: go up.
This is why Tony is a genius. He knows his suit has a feature Obadiah's doesn't, a defroster. He's using the knowledge from his earlier icing problem to win the fight. It's smart, not just strong.
He lures the Ironmonger higher and higher into the atmosphere. As predicted, Obadiah's suit freezes and plummets back to Earth, crashing onto the roof of the Stark building right above the giant arc reactor.
But he's not done yet. Obadiah launches a surprise attack. Tony is outmatched. His power is failing. It's all up to Pepper now.
Tony screams for Pepper to overload the main arc reactor, knowing the resulting electromagnetic pulse will destroy both suits but hopefully save them. With hesitation, she pushes the button.
Kaboom! A massive energy wave erupts, frying Obadiah and his suit, sending him falling into the reactor's core. Tony is saved, his own reactor sputtering back to life. The villain is defeated.
The next day, the world is buzzing about the mysterious Iron Man. At a press conference, Agent Coulson provides Tony with a cover story, an alibi involving a bodyguard. All Tony has to do is read the cards.
But we all know Tony Stark doesn't do scripts. You can see him having an internal debate for about 5 seconds, and then that classic Tony smirk appears.
He looks at the crowd of reporters, pushes the cards aside, and says the 4 words that changed superhero movies forever. The truth is, I am Iron Man.
He drops the mic, rolls credits, the absolute legend. No secret identity, no excuses. He just owns it. That's how you end a movie.
But it's not the end. In a post-credit scene, Tony arrives home to find a mysterious figure in the shadows. It's Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And here it is, the line that started it all. Nick Fury tells Tony he's not the only superhero in the world and that he wants to talk to him about the Avenger Initiative. And scene. Chills every single time.
And that's the story of Iron Man, a film about a man who saw the destruction his creations caused and decided to become the one thing his weapons never could be: a shield.
The moral is, if you have genius, billions of dollars, and a whole lot of unresolved trauma, maybe build a suit and become a superhero. It seems to work out. What do we know? We just talk about it.
That's all for this episode. Let us know in the comments which movie you want us to put under the microscope next. Until then,
stay awesome, and maybe invent clean energy if you have a spare afternoon. Adios.